Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you all about shedding, how much shedding is too much shedding, when your shedding can be classified as hair loss, and how to deal with that. I get so many questions about this on Instagram and here as well, but especially over there on Instagram. I've done a post about it already, but I thought it would just be easier to do an entire video so I can explain things in a little bit more detail. So before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Let's just jump right in. Okay, so shedding. Shedding is something that all of us experience, especially I feel like the longer your hair gets, the more you shed. Shedding is normal. You're supposed to lose at least 150 to 200 hairs a day. Some people lose a little more, some people lose a little less. If you're not noticing any bald spots or severe thinning in your hair, then I literally wouldn't worry about it. I tend to notice a lot of my own shedding when I'm brushing my hair, when I'm washing it, and when I'm oiling it especially. And that's just mainly because you are touching your hair. The more you're touching your hair, the more you're loosening up hairs that are already being ready to fall. I have a post on my Instagram all about the 3 phases of hair growth. I'll try to find it and link it down below. When your hair grows in, when it's resting, and then when it falls out. So when you're touching your hair a lot and oiling it, you're really massaging your scalp, touching your hair a lot, and you're letting things fall out that are loose. A lot of the time, especially when your hair gets longer, look, I made a mess of myself now. Especially as your hair starts to get longer and hair falls out, it will tend to get lost in here. So sometimes it looks like a lot. This happens to a lot of people that don't brush their hair often. My boyfriend is one of them. He doesn't brush his hair every day, but when he does brush his hair, he feels like so much is coming out because you lose hair each day. So if you're not brushing it to let them kind of filter out, they will get lost in there, and when you do brush it out, it'll look like a lot of hair loss, but it's not. Like, just don't stress about it. That leads me to hair loss. So hair loss is something that a lot of people experience. It's very common. It can be caused by a million different things. So I'm just going to be going into the things that I find are most commonly like the external causes among people that have messaged me, and usually what works for them. Again, this is a really common issue, and it's really complex as well. It could be due to so many different things, especially internally. So if your hair loss is very severe and you've tried already a bunch of different things, the best thing you should do is go to your doctor and get some blood work done, because it could be due to a nutrient deficiency. It could be a hormone imbalance. Like if you're on any sort of birth control, or if you've recently come off of birth control, that could be the issue. It could just be regular hormone imbalances. A lot of us experience them. So definitely go to your doctor and make sure. It could also be some sort of skin condition, so going to the dermatologist also wouldn't hurt. But I'm just going to be talking about the things that are external and that you can control and that might be affecting your hair and your hair loss without you even realizing. So let's just get into those. The first thing and the most common thing is stress. You guys, stress will literally destroy your body. Like, if you're constantly really stressed out like me, like I'm such a high stress individual. I'm always really anxious. I'm always really stressed out, especially when I'm in school. And I tend to lose a lot of hair during that time. And if it's not hair, I break out a lot, or I lose my appetite. My weight tends to fluctuate when I'm like that. So stress can just really affect your body and wreak havoc on your hair. So if you're one of those people, if you're like me, make sure you're finding ways to manage your stress. I find that working out really helps me to chill out, because for 1 hour I'm focusing on how much I hate working out instead of like all the things that I have to do, or my grades, or my exams that are coming up, or my assignments. So that really tends to help me. Also, give yourself a pamper night. Like once a week, try to set at least an hour aside so you can just do nothing. Do a face mask, do a hair mask, chill out. Stay away from your phone for a little bit as well, because I find that constantly being on social media can be really stressful, and it can really start to just change how you feel about yourself. So take a little break and unwind and really manage your stress, because I find that that is a really big issue among a lot of people that message me. So chill out. Also, if you are experiencing hair loss, the more you stress about it, the more it's going to fall out. So just relax. The second thing I want to talk about is nutrient and vitamin deficiencies, and just nutrients and vitamins in general. So when you are trying to grow out your hair, or just in general to be healthy and happy, you should be eating a balanced, healthy diet. So lots of vegetables, lots of leafy greens, lots of fruit, and lots of water. If you are missing nutrients, it could be due to your diet, because that's where you get the most of them from. If you're eating a very balanced, healthy diet, whole food diet, and you're still missing nutrients, you can always look into supplements. So iron supplements, I know a lot of people lose their hair because of an iron deficiency, biotin deficiencies, little things like that. You can always just take any hair, skin, and nail vitamin. They usually have everything in them that would affect your hair and nails, so that would help a lot. But like I said in the beginning, make sure you go to a doctor if you feel that it is severe, because an iron deficiency can cause a lot more damage than just hair loss. So make sure that you go to the doctor even once a year if you go for a checkup. Like, get some blood work done and just make sure everything's balanced out. So make sure that you're eating enough, and make sure that water is a definite part of your lifestyle. Another thing that could be causing hair loss or irritating your scalp and leading to hair loss could be the products that you're using. So those of you who follow me on Instagram and have followed me here on YouTube for a while now know that I really don't like to use silicones and sulfates in my products. But I found that a lot of people that come to me with hair loss issues, once they switched over to sulfate-free products especially, they found that their scalp irritations have lessened and the amount of hair they're losing has actually gone down as well. So sulfates can be very drying on the scalp because they do strip natural oils, so that can be great if you have really oily hair and you're trying to clean your hair, but it can also be really damaging to the hair follicle and to your hair itself. So it could be drying it out, it could be causing dry itchiness, it could also be irritating if you have like a scalp issue like eczema or anything like that. It could be actually irritating it and making it worse. So if you've tried everything else and nothing else is working, try looking in the ingredients in your shampoo and conditioner. You guys already know, like I said, I've stopped using sulfates and silicones for well over a year now, and it's done nothing but great things for my hair and for my scalp. Also, silicones. If you are using a conditioner with silicone and you like to apply your conditioner to your scalp, that could be a big issue too, because silicone can tend to clog your hair follicles. Obviously, there are water-soluble silicones, but they don't always wash out properly, so it can be clogging your scalp. Even though I use silicone-free conditioner, I still don't like to put it on my scalp just because it can weigh your hair down, can make you look kind of greasy. So I find that up here it's already so close to your scalp, it gets all those lovely oils that you produce on your own, but down here is where you really need the conditioner. So it doesn't matter what conditioner you're using, don't put anything heavy on your scalp. It can clog the follicles, it can irritate your scalp, and it can cause hair loss. This also goes for dry shampoo. So I did a video recently on alcohols, like the good and bad alcohol, so I'll leave it up here in the cards somewhere, or I'll put it down below if you haven't checked it out yet. But if you're one of those people that uses dry shampoo in your hair every day, most of them do contain denatured alcohol, which is what allows the dry shampoo to dry up really quickly on the scalp and dry up the oils on your scalp. So that's great for making the dry shampoo work, but it can also really irritate your scalp. So if you need to use dry shampoo every day, definitely look into getting a powder shampoo. I'll link the one I use down below, but I use the Cake Beauty All Powderful Dry Shampoo. It's talc free, it's vegan, and it doesn't have a lot of the nasties that regular dry shampoos have in them. So I find that it's a little bit better if I'm going to be using it more often. If you don't use dry shampoo every day, then you can use it. It's not going to harm you, but that's just something to keep in mind if you are experiencing hair loss. Finally, I'm going to go into tight hairstyles. This is obviously not an extensive list or an exhaustive list of what can cause hair loss, but these, like I said earlier, are what I find to be the most common. Tight hairstyles can be extremely damaging to your scalp and to the hair follicle, because if you're pulling your hair back really tightly every day, it starts to really wear on your edges here, and it starts to really wear on your hairline itself. So if you're always wearing your hair back really tight, I know a lot of us have to for work. I'm a server, I've worked in Starbucks, I've worked in restaurants, I totally get having to wear your hair up. But if you're always like, you know, snatching your hair back and giving yourself a facelift, it can actually scar your hair follicle and your scalp and cause permanent hair loss. So that's obviously an extreme example, but it can cause hair loss. You can be pulling out hairs prematurely and damaging them. So you want to be very gentle with your hair. When I'm working in the service industry or wherever you are working, I like to wear my hair in braids. I find that they're a lot more gentle on their hair. They're so cute and they keep your hair out of your face. Also, if you want to wear your hair in a ponytail or in a bun, just try to loosen it up around your scalp. So even if it's tied tightly back here, try to just pull it out around your scalp a little bit to give it some slack. That way it's not, you know, ripping at your scalp all day. It'll also help to eliminate that like sore feeling at the end of the day when you let your hair down, especially if your hair is long like mine. That's such a pain in the ass. So if you kind of just loosen it up a little bit, it'll help a lot. And finally, as I kind of talked about in the beginning, anything that's going on internally will affect your body externally, whether it's your hair, your skin, your mood, anything like that. So if you are experiencing any sort of deficiencies, hormone imbalances, extreme levels of stress, or any other health issues, if you're taking any medication, all of that could be affecting your hair loss. So if you kind of tried all these things that I've mentioned and nothing's working for you, then definitely please go see your doctor. Now I'm going to give you guys a really quick DIY that you can do if this is one of the causes of your hair loss that can kind of help stimulate growth and kind of help to prevent any issues on your scalp that might be causing your hair loss. If you're not into the DIY thing, I know a lot of people aren't because it takes a little bit of time, you can definitely invest in something like this. This is probably my favorite scalp treatment product that I've used on my scalp ever. It's the Innate Life scalp treatment. I use the one for normal scalp because I don't deal with any kind of dandruff or itchiness or anything like that. They do have one for problematic or dry scalp, so if you have dandruff or itchy dry scalp or eczema or anything like that, you can definitely try out the problematic one. This product has so many amazing Ayurvedic herbs and oils in it, as well as oils like rosemary and peppermint, things like that, that are great for stimulating the scalp and keeping it healthy and clean up there. So I like to use something like this about once a week on my scalp and really massage it in there and leave it overnight, or leave it for at least an hour. It helps to kind of clarify and just really get rid of anything that's irritating me. Like I said, it helps to stimulate growth as well, so if you're using it consistently, you will see an improvement, especially if you have any, I have some sparse areas up here that are just there, so I find that things like this kind of help with that. It'll also help to lessen your hair fall if what you're experiencing has something to do with what I mentioned earlier. If this isn't available to you, you can always just take some tea tree oil, peppermint oil, or rosemary oil, or you can use a little bit of all three and mix it with a carrier oil of your choice and use it the same way. Just be careful when you're using essential oils. Please make sure that you're diluting them properly. For a tablespoon of carrier oil, I like to just stick to 5 drops of essential oil total. So obviously everybody's different. Before you use it on your scalp, make sure you do a patch test either here on your wrist or on the back of your neck, just to make sure that you're not allergic, because if you are, that's going to really suck when it's all over your scalp and it's itching and stuff like that. So just really be careful when using essential oils. They're potent and they can be really strong. I really hope this was helpful, and I hope it clarified some things for you guys and gave you guys a better idea of shedding versus hair loss. And please let me know what you guys want to see next week. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!